So did we see any developments over the weekend?
So the partial strikes began from 1 p.m. Perth time on Friday. They're just being called, I guess, partial stoppages. There's a range of measures they're taking, such as no overtime and a refusal to carry out some duties. But what is happening at the moment is that it looks very much as if the full stoppages will come into effect from September the 14th. It's coming around very quickly. I mean, of course, there's been negotiations happening for weeks on this, but it seems that despite the Offshore Alliance being able to broker an agreement with Woodside a couple of weeks ago, it does seem that Chevron, the sticking points with Chevron, are still problematic from their perspective.
And Amy, what, if any, impact has it had on production so far?
Bonnie, the thinking at the moment from analysts who are observing this is that it's not having a huge impact. It does seem to be more that it's going to be costing Chevron through inefficiencies and other kinds of issues. But of course, the real problem is that if this continues to drag on for weeks, then it will start to bite. Japan is the biggest market for the LNG from these particular plants here in Australia. We know that they're starting to look at other sources, but of course that then is a trigger for impact on the global market. So of course the longer this drags on, the bigger impact there is expected to be. And as I said, from September the 14th, that's when I guess the stoppages proper, as they would call it, are likely to take effect if no deal can be reached in the meantime.
And what are the prospects then that the issues can be resolved?
Well, you'd have to say that it's not looking great at the moment. In a social media post, the most recent one from the Offshore Alliance, which is representing the workers, they've described Chevron as inept in this bargaining process. It does still seem that the two sides are extremely far apart, and therefore the prospects for any kind of resolution seem unlikely before the next stoppages begin on the 14th of September. But it's a watch and wait at the moment to see whether they can broker something as they did with Woodside.